Hey folks, welcome to another live. So I believe this is day seven that I'm doing. No, day six. Tomorrow will be day seven. Listen, today I want to talk about excuses, right? Especially the "I'm too busy" excuse. What does that excuse actually mean? Let's talk about it now. First of all, let me give some context for why I'm thinking these thoughts right now, why I want to have this discussion right now. In March, I lost a number of friends. I've been very open about those experiences. There weren't people who were like super close to me, but the people who were close to me at various points in my life, and they all seemed to pass away more or less at the same time. And was it preventable or not? And nobody knows these things, but I still feel like um, there are people who maybe weren't asking for help in the way that they could have been. And I see that with others too. It's not just this recent experience, but to go from that. So sort of March was a month of loss. April was sort of a month of grieving. And now as we're moving into May, the emotion that I'm feeling really is more anger than anything else. What do I mean by that? I mean that when I'm having some conversations with some of you who are contacting me, thanks for contacting me, thanks for leaving comments and so on. But when I have a discussion with you and I'm like, why don't you do the health coaching thing? Because no time for transformation like the present, right? And the excuses that you guys are giving me is kind of tired. I mean, their excuses, you're not giving me the excuses, you're giving the excuses to yourself, is what I want you to understand, number one. Number two is that those specific excuses are not valid, right? And let me explain why I think that this "I'm too busy" excuse in particular is not valid. So if you say "I'm too busy to make the change," first of all, I think what that excuse acknowledges is that making changes is hard, right? Making changes in our lifestyle, making changes in our routine is hard. Agreed. Number one. No, point number one, absolutely correct. It's a fact. Making those lifestyle changes is not easy. It's never going to be easy. Point number two, what you are, the good stuff and the bad stuff, whatever you show up as today, is the result of your actions. I want to repeat that. Everything that you show up with today, the good and the bad, is the result of your actions, your decisions, and specifically your habits, right? You change your habits, you change who you are, right? That's point number two. So, what you're telling me by saying that is, I'm too busy to change my habits. What is the implication of that? The implication of that is that there'll be some time when you're not so busy. And, in life, there are busy times and the not so busy times. And when there comes a time that you're not so busy, then only that will be the right time to change my habits. That's what you're telling me. Now follow through with that, right? Because we say, okay, when I'm not busy, I can change my habits. And then at some future point after that, you're going to get busy again because life has busy times and less busy times. And you're going to fall back on your old habits, right? Because that's a stress, right? And that's just what humans do. So actually, if you think about this properly, what is the best time to make that behavior change happen is the busiest time in your life. Because if you can do it at the busiest time in your life, you can do it whenever you want. You can do it all the time. You're guaranteed to do it all the time. So when you're telling me you're too busy for it, what you're actually telling me is actually now is the best time to do it. Now is absolutely the best time to do it. But um, you know, maybe you don't want what you say you want, right? That's another excuse we can talk about on another day. But um, a lot of people are just addicted to, think about. I'm sure we all have this uncles and aunts, or maybe parents or grandparents who every day they are complaining about their health, right? And after a little while, it's like, even on days when, Auntie doesn't have much to complain about, she's still complaining about something. And you're like, Auntie, yesterday you were hacking up a lung and you were super sick. And today it's just a slightly creaky knee that you've had forever. But you're always complaining about something, right? So what happens when we're in that complaining mode is we get addicted to our emotions, we get addicted to the complaining. And that's what can happen. So sometimes I feel like you're not really even making an excuse. You're not making an excuse to yourself. What you're doing is you're finding a reason to keep on feeling the emotion that you were feeling the day before. And if you want to feel the same emotions you were feeling the day before, then you want the same sickness you want the day before you were the day before. You want the same feeling of anxiety, depression, all that stuff is never going anywhere, right? So, take a deep breath, think through, is this the day you're going to make a change, or whatever you want? When you wake up in the morning, it's nighttime here in South Africa. When you wake up in the morning, are you going to be the same person you are today, or are you going to be the person who commits to a change? And if it's the latter, give me a call. We got some slots open. We have a course starting next week. More than happy to walk you through this. Working with me, guaranteed to get results, regardless of how busy you are, right? I mean, I've worked with CEOs, I've worked with new mothers, I've worked with people who are probably more busy than you are and they got results. So if you want to get results, give me a call. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.